Good afternoon. It's the first weekend in July now. Plenty more to do. Feels like we got most of it done last time. You know, it felt like the hard work was over, but there is still a fair bit to do to get it to a point where it's usable again. I need to finish the welding, get the screen in, get the wipers and arms and everything on, finish the exhaust system. Oh, and just on cue, it started to absolutely hammer it down. Brilliant. So I'm going to be working mainly in the garage today. I'm going to do the trailing arm bushes today and new watts linkage. So that's today's jobs, and hopefully a bit more if the weather improves. At the moment it's terrible, so we'll see how we get on. So first things first, finish my tea, get the car up in the air and crack on. So I did actually do another video, but I've realised it, or I thought I was doing another video, but it didn't record. So I've been doing the watts linkage and trailing arm bushes with my lovely thing to lay on. So the trailing arms are now poly bushed. The trailing arm mounts are absolutely lovely. The bolts threaded out beautifully. No rust on the inner arm mount there, a bit of surface rust, but nothing major. Yeah, so they're all poly bushed. Now the watts linkage is on, but not tightened up. You're supposed to tighten these up with weight on the car, so, you know, so you tighten up in the orientation that it's going to be in when you're driving along. However, the bolts that hold the middle of it together are the weirdest things ever. They've got a domed head on them, and the thread is like the biggest thread I've ever seen. So they were seized up, they were seized solid, so I've had to take them off, grind them off. I've not actually damaged the threads, it's just the weirdest thread ever. Problem being, I don't have any nuts to fit them anymore, and obviously, yeah, so that's about as far as I can go with the watts linkage today, unfortunately. I don't want to tighten anything else up because I'm only going to have to take it off again to get these out. So I need to figure out where I can get some bolts from. I mean, would you just use normal bolts? These things look weird, you know? So yeah, I've got to figure that out, get some nuts and bolts sorted for those. Obviously they need to be the right diameter bolt because they go through a sleeve in the bush, and if you had ones that were too small, even by a small margin, you'd get movement, which you don't really want. So I've got to get that sorted next. So that's pretty much on the suspension today. I need to do a bit more on the exhaust, which I'm going to do later. What else? Oh yeah, the battery. I've had the battery on charge, on trickle charger all week, and it seems to have responded well to a charge, so we'll get that put back on. See if that's any good. I guess time will tell. Seems alright. So, and then it's onto the exhaust. I've got to cut a couple of brackets for it. I've got to make a couple of mounts. You can see it dangling down just in front of the axle stand there at the minute, and the finisher for it is there, so that needs sorting. Not going to be doing too much more today because my wife is working on her XJ40 and she needs someone to do the welding for her. She's pretty good at making patches and things like that, but not so much the welding side of things, so I think we'll get some of that done this afternoon. She's just shouting me for a cup of tea, so that's about as far as we're going to go for now. I'm going to stop, have a bit of a break, and then come back at it later. So, a bit of a strange video, this one. The beginning of this video, sorry about the pause in the middle, but the beginning of this video was a week ago. I forgot to upload it, where I was talking about the watts linkage, and I was doing the watts linkage and poly bushing the trailing arms. I never actually got that finished. The centre pivot on the watts linkage has special bolts and rivets. Well, they're like basically big rivets that hold it together. And I only realised this once I'd taken it off. So I've ordered some special bolts and they've arrived today, a week later. So I'm back up here today. I was at work this morning, so it's just an afternoon. The car's got to be done by the 31st. The body shop guy wants it just for 4 days just to get me the roof painted for now. So I really do need to crack on and get this done. With that in mind, this box is now empty. It did have the headlining in it, and that's been this afternoon's job. So as you can see, a lovely headlining in. They're all in place, sun visors, rear view mirror, all in place. I've not put the trims at the back in yet, but it's all velcroed in at the back as it should be, everything's in. I've put the side trims in, but they're going to have to come back out when the windscreen goes in, so we'll do that. Next is actually finish what I started and get the Watts linkage done. I don't know, the keener-eyed amongst you might have spotted in a previous video that the rear bumper had a big dent in it. It's now got a slightly smaller dent in it. I've got rid of the worst of the dent. I took the bumper off and I've got rid of the worst of the dent out of it. It's just a small thing, but it does tidy it up. You might also notice that it's no longer got rear lifting eyes. The angular box section parts basically that fit there and there, they're gone. And as are the lugs for the rear exhaust box. So they're all gone, tidies it up a little bit from the back, and yeah, looks a bit cleaner. So what I'm going to do later on, if I get time today, is take the front bumper off and try and get rid of some of that, quite a big dent, and some of that, which is quite a big dent. So I think I'll be able to get most of that out. So Watts linkage, headline is done. I've dropped the wiper motor out, well, I've dropped it down. The last bit of welding and fabrication has got to be this bit. So we're going to cut this lip out. There's another lip underneath it obviously, so we'll cut that lip out and then we'll make a 90 degree, and then it'll come to about there, and then it'll come down at an angle, across, up at an angle, back down. So it'll replace all that section like that, and that'll be the last bit done. All this is not my problem. The body guy is going to sort that out. He's going to paint me basically when the welding's done and everything. The scuttle's going to be painted, the windscreen surround and pillars are going to be painted, and the roof's going to be painted. I don't envy him with the roof. He's going to hate me. It does sand off. I tried a little bit of it and it does sand off and sands quite smooth. I did a bit across the back. He's going to tidy all this up because this is where I painted this. I ground all the welds smooth and sorted it all out and painted it just with rattle can so I could get the boot lid on. So that's got to be sorted. There is also a shallow dent somewhere. I can't quite remember where it was. There. Can't really see it, but it's there. I'll be able to see it. So I need that sorting as well. But you know, the little things really. We are really getting there with it. So I'll get it jacked up, get the Watts linkage done. It's about 5 o'clock now. I finished work at 12:30 and I've only done the headlining really, so I would like to get something else done before I leave tonight. And have a full day again tomorrow. So yeah, more soon. I'll catch up with you when I've got the back end in air and I'm doing the Watts linkage. So that's it for today. Everything packed back away, ready for tomorrow. Tomorrow's jobs are the front bumper and finish off the exhaust system. I've dropped the wiper motor out today while I had 2 minutes and marked out where I wanted to cut the rot out. I don't know if you can really see, but I've marked out where I'm going to cut the rot out. Quite a localised repair. That's not a hole, that's a bit of dirt, a bit of surface rust. So that's going to get cut out. I've dropped the wiper motor down, so we shouldn't interfere with that. I need to move this loom. But yeah, the Watts linkage is now all done. So that's done. Like I say, tomorrow's jobs are bumper, exhaust system, and a bit of cutting and cleaning around windscreen and all that kind of thing. So we're edging ever closer. So should be done in hopefully a week or so. Fingers crossed. So yeah, that's it for today. Don't forget to like and subscribe, follow me on YouTube, comment whatever you think, good or bad, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.